Oh yeah. How y'all doing? It caught us in the back chat, but it is time to breathe
That
again.
actually started off live pretty quickly, man.
Yeah,
That was faster than it normally does. I'm normally able to get my speech in and then it hits.
I think my internet is running a little bit better, so it's like
Hey, reboot.
It's time to breathe again on the latest Bofa Sports webcast, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So I got Patrick with me, Charles, and Patrick, we got a lot to get to, so let's jump right into it. We will start with college football. And before we get there, Aaron, good to see you on here. And yes, we will be checking out that documentary. Thanks for letting us know about it. And go ahead and pop back on here because we're about to talk some football here. So go ahead, leave your comments. Aaron Rodgers will probably be a little part of this. So whatever comments you have for that,
whatever, dude,
please share them, please. But before we get to the NFL, let's get on some college football. So Patrick, week 2. Looking at the schedule, didn't look like there was a bunch of games on there in terms of, I guess, big heavyweights going at it like it looked like in week 1. But as usual, there was always something interesting happening.
Always something interesting.
So with that, man, what caught your eye from week 2?
Hey, Northwestern. Northwestern. Yo. Well, okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna start with my dogs. Dude, I think I'm in the huddle with them.
Bubble screens.
Wide receiver screens. Don't know what to do. This is what Gunner walks into. He's like, all right, Bobo is the OC. So got 1 to 3 plays. Bubble screen. Wide receiver screen, and I just don't know. Hey, how about Kirby Smart coming to a press conference going, "We are getting back to Georgia Bulldog offense and running the ball." What happened with What happened with those last 5 plays in the end of the first half? No running the ball there, were we? Oh, dude, you would not believe. I was like, this is Austin Peay. We threw 28 points on Austin Peay. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. We got Tennessee next week
in Knoxville.
Like in Knoxville. We won the last 8 games against Tennessee. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because look, I think I told you this when we were on the talking on the phone. And I told you, I was like, man, I was so happy to get Zachariah Branch. I was so happy. I was like, we got a wide receiver. And I was also pissed off about it at the same time.
Yeah, because Bubble Screens was going to be coming.
Bubble Screen's coming back, bro. And sure enough, what did he do? Bubble Screen, first play. The Branch, and what did he do? Bailed Bobo out. He bailed Bobo out, and I was like, crying and happy all at the same time because we got Bobo again for 2 more years.
Automatic contract extension.
Automatic. He's like, ooh, good Bubble Screen call. Whoa. I'm not good for 3 more years. Can't get rid of him, man. Can't get rid of him. Maybe it's because Bobo's son is center. Maybe that's the reason why. And that's what I keep going on. Like maybe he graduates and Bobo retires. Maybe. Then again, we'd probably get his son, and his son would be like, Bubble Screen. Anyway, there was a lot of good games, man. There was a lot of good games. I mean, I wasn't happy with the Georgia Austin Peay game, but I mean, I'm happy we won. But man, if that's what we're coming with, bro, it's not looking good. I'm hopeful. I'll say this: I'm hopeful about. We just didn't want to open our playbook for everybody to see. That's what.
We had a weather delay too, and I think like sometimes when you get into these weather delays, it takes a little bit to just get started again. So maybe you just said, "All right, man, we'll just grind this out." And like you said, maybe it was just not trying to open up the playbook a whole bunch.
Yeah. But then I'm gonna shoot through this now that I got my
rant
out of the way. That Michigan Oklahoma game. That I mean, to be honest with you, man, that's kind of what I expected. I mean, I don't think there's any panic for Michigan. That was a tough game, week 2. Plus, it was out of conference, so I think Michigan should be fine. But I mean, it was a good game. There was another one. Troy. How about Troy keeping up with Clemson for like 3.5 or 3 quarters, dude?
Is now that might have been the case where the weather delay helped Clemson because they was getting
they were getting whipped. I mean, there was one point it was 16-3, dude, and I was like, woo! Woo! There was the SMU and Baylor game was really good, dude. That one went. SMU blew a big lead and then just kind of. I mean, but you got to give a lot of credit to Baylor, man. They didn't stop playing offensively or defensively. So I give a huge shout out to Baylor for that one. The Ole Miss and Kentucky game. That was pretty good. I mean, I had Ole Miss winning that, but Kentucky gave them a big battle. Gave them a really good battle.
Kentucky just matches up well with Ole Miss because they have a good defensive line that can mess up the timing a little bit. Now, once Ole Miss was able to get their footing, they did start to get those points. And I mean, I think the final score was 30-23. But yeah, I was actually watching that game a little bit. Kentucky started off pretty good, but there's only so much you can do, really. The Ole Miss, after a while, they do just start to get going, and they're able to pull away a little bit.
Shout out to that UConn team, man. They played against Syracuse, man. So shout out to them. I watched a little bit of that game, and UConn. I mean, they're getting better. You can see it, and they got a good coaching staff out there in Connecticut too. So. But I wanted to give them a shout out because they hung with Syracuse the way they did. That was a shout out to them. And then there was one more game that I saw. The North Texas, your alma mater, the North Texas Western Michigan game.
Yeah.
So, I think North Texas ended up pulling that one out. So So what do they call them? The Mean Green.
Mean Green. Yeah.
Mean Green. Yeah. So.
Because I can think about part of it. You remember the player Mean Joe Green? He actually went to North Texas.
I do have a question for you, and you'll answer this because it just happened in conversation over the weekend. Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma, the horses. What generation are they in?
Ooh, that one I don't know. Anything Oklahoma, I kind of get out my head.
You glaze over. I get it, but I mean, it's just like, it's just you heard it so much. Boomer. How old are them damn horses, dude? I just gotta know, man. Because we're on the other 12. You know what I mean? And I was just curious of like where Boomer Sooner was at. You know what I mean?
If I had to take a guess, I would say they're at least in the 10th generation because I think we're in the 8th or 9th generation of Bevo. And so I think it just kind of stays on par with each other.
Yeah. I was just curious because, I mean, it was just like, I heard that all weekend and I was like, how old are them horses, man? I gotta know. And I didn't look it up or anything like that, but I was just kind of curious. So, but anyway, that was my takeaways from the weekend. I mean, there was a bunch of good games. I watched a lot of football over Saturday, but those are the ones that stuck out to me.
So there was a couple that stuck out to me. One was the South Florida game, and South Florida was able to go into the swamp in Gainesville and win.
Yeah,
Florida,
about that one.
For Florida, ugly loss. You had double-digit penalties. You had very crucial penalties in South Florida's last drive that kept it alive. It's not a good performance for Florida. And now Billy Napier is back on that hot seat, if he really even got off. But
I mean, dude, they probably turned the temperature down a little bit after that 5-game win streak at the end of last year. But all it was going to take was one loss for this. And you know what? And since we're on that, shout out to South Florida, man, to take on 3 ranked teams in the first 3 weeks. Shout out to that. That's gutsy, dude.
Yeah, and winning too.
And to be 2-0 right now.
Yeah, they blew out Boise State, and then they went to Gainesville and won. They got another one coming up in Miami. And then Mississippi State taking out Arizona State in the final seconds. That was a pretty good game. So Mississippi State came in. They jumped on Arizona State 17-0. And the Sun Devils were able to run the ball, get back in the game, took the lead 2017, and then Mississippi State hit a big play, and the Cowbells were going crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to win, and it's hard to win there, dude. And those Cowbells start going. But you know what? Good for Arizona State to not really miss a stride without
Scatterbill.
You know what I mean? That was pretty cool to see them to continue to run the ball even though he wasn't there.
Yep, and so you hit the rest of them that I was looking at, but yeah, those two was what stuck out. What South Florida is doing, Mississippi State knocking off Arizona State. Everything else was pretty status quo. I mean, Penn State had a little bit of a struggle with Florida International, but they were able to pull away. It ended up being 34-0, but that game was 13-0 late in the third.
Yeah.
And so, but they were able to pull away. Ohio State, they ran away with their game. We did pretty good against San Jose State. And so everything was pretty status quo outside of those games that we pointed out. Mm-hmm. And so with that, Patrick, let's jump in to the first week of the College Football Pick'em Challenge. So for those who have not been, who haven't seen the show when we have done this before, 3-0 we have is, yes, and Patrick is 3-0. We're even counting the COVID year.
But them wins, baby.
A win is a win. Absolutely. Does not matter.
Wood.
We were dealing with the same circumstances. But
of our seats.
But for those who haven't seen the show, who might be new to watching the show, what we do is every week, starting in week 3, because of course the first week we do the college football preview and then the NFL preview the next week. So starting in week 3, which is this week coming on up, we have 6 games that we pick. For each correct pick we get 1 point. And then Patrick, we might have to talk about this point system. But normally how it's been is we'll get 1 point for the winner. If we're able to pick the correct score, winner and correct score, then normally that was 3 points. We haven't quite hit that yet, but man, we've been close on some of these games.
Good Lord, man. There was a couple I hit. Dude, there was a couple we hit last year, but we picked the wrong team.
Exactly. And so those are the ground rules for us with this college football pick'em challenge. So without further ado, Patrick, since you won, you pick the first game. And then we'll go from there until we get to the 6th.
Oh, and by the way, just so you also know, my 3 picks, Charles does not get to know them until I say them, and vice versa. So it is a surprise for him on my 3 picks, and it's a surprise for me on his 3 picks. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you, there's a lot of times where we're like, I already know which one you're picking. He already knows one of them I'm picking.
Yeah.
He should already know. It'd be my 3rd pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few of them that we're like, ooh, oh, okay, I didn't see that one coming. There's a couple of them where we're like, yeah, I like them. All right. Game 1. You ready? I had to pick this one, dude. I had to pick this one because if I kind of feel like if I didn't pick this one, you were going to pick it because of who we picked for the ACC. Clemson and Georgia Tech, dude. Here we are. Week 3. You got your Clemson Tigers. I got my Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. Woo! And how about them Yellow Jackets, the way they've been playing, dude?
Been playing good. Absolutely.
You obviously know where I'm going. I gotta go. I'm gonna go Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. I have been struggling with this score because I'm like, it could jump. It could get out of hand for both of these teams really quick, especially with the way they've been playing. Especially with the way Clemson has been playing. But I've been struggling with this score, and I didn't know how bad I wanted Georgia Tech to win. But I do feel that this is one of those games where Georgia Tech will win. I'm gonna go 27-20 Georgia Tech. And those 20 points that Clemson's going to get is going to come in the second half. And those, I just don't. They're just not a first half team, man. They just haven't seen anything. And that Georgia Tech team, man, I told you, dude. I think they're for real. I think they are for real. That offense is clicking right now. That defense is doing really well. So Georgia Tech, 27-20.
27-20. All right, I like the score. Now you know I'm gonna go on the other side of this, and so I will have.
You are. That's the reason why I picked.
So I got Clemson. I think it will be closer than that. I think I actually have something like. I think it'll be 28-24 is what I have for this game. I've looked at this game with the game being in Atlanta. Georgia Tech is going to be very hyped up for this game. They're going to look at this as an opportunity to make that statement to say, hey, we are here and we're coming for this ACC title. We've been building this program. I like what Brent Key has done building that program. But I don't think they have quite enough. They're close, though. They are close. I was actually going back and forth here because I do think Georgia Tech can win this game. Wouldn't be surprised to see them win this game, actually. But I'm going to go Clemson 27-24. I think Cade Klubnik can make enough plays to pull this out. And when I say pull this out, I see this coming down to the fourth quarter. I see this coming down to the last second drive where he's going to have to be elite.
It's going to take him to have two. To me, I think he has to have 2 elite drives. One at the end of the first half, one at the end of the second half. If that goes in either way, if that goes in Clemson's way, they have a really good shot. If that goes in Georgia Tech's way, they have a really good shot. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't think that Clemson can't win this game. By no means. Clemson can win this game. They are good. They are a good team. I just don't think their defense can stop Georgia Tech's offense.
Yep. I understand. And yeah, if Georgia Tech gets the running game going, then yeah, it might be tough for Clemson. That's the thing that can control.
They have not been able to stop anybody running the ball.
Clemson did all right against LSU because that game was 17-10. If anything, the offense let them down against LSU.
The offense let them down. I think the offense turned over the ball 3 times in that game, right?
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything going. LSU actually did a good job, definitely in the second half. They just really shut them down.
Yeah.
So all right. So you got Georgia Tech and I got Clemson here. I guess it is my turn.
It is mixed up. Week 1. Game 1. Woo! It's going to be an interesting season.
So, there's a good amount of games on here to choose from. I'm going to go here, though. So, we had mentioned South Florida, and they're going to be playing Miami this week. I think this is interesting just for the reasons we had pointed out earlier. South Florida beat Boise State, beat them solidly. Down in Tampa, and then they were able to go to Gainesville in the swamp and pull that game out against Florida. So now, in the latest Florida State war, Now they play Miami, and Miami has beaten. They're coming off their win. Well, a couple weeks ago they beat Notre Dame, and then they beat Bethune. This game will be in Miami. Man, it would not surprise me to see South Florida win this one. I'm gonna go with Miami though. I think it will be pretty close. But I think Miami will be able to pull this one out in the fourth quarter and start to pull away a little bit. I think it will be a little bit higher scoring too. I'm gonna go Miami 30-20.
30-20. Okay. I like the score. Hey, it worked for me last year. I'm saying it this year. We are not going to have another South Florida game that we will be calling on this show because I don't see any other games on there. I'm going South Florida, man. I'm going South Florida because, hey, shout out to them. First of all, shout out to them for going 3 ranked games in a row, week 1, 2, and 3. I mean, like, that's gutsy at the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? So that's a huge shout out for me right off the gate. But I do feel it's going to be a higher ranked or a higher scored game. I'm going to go a little higher than what you did. I'm going to go 37-27. I think South Florida can pull this out. So I'm going to go South Florida. We're mixing it up.
Yes, we are.
There's somebody going to be far behind in week 1.
It's not going to be a good start for somebody. Well, all right, man. What's your game? Your turn.
So my second game, I'm gonna go here because this is gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be an interesting game. Texas A&M and Notre Dame. This is gonna be a very interesting game because Texas A&M is playing pretty good. I mean, for what Texas A&M is playing, I guess. And then Notre Dame had that loss to Miami because we talked about that just a while ago. The thing is I'm not a huge fan of Notre Dame, and we all know that. There's 3 schools I can't stand, and I've always said it, and in no particular order: USC, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. And it depends on who they're playing, who I hate the most that day. That's it. All right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm picking Texas A&M because I don't like Notre Dame. I'm picking Texas A&M because I just don't think Notre Dame's offense is as good as it has been in the past. Now, I know head coach Franklin, is that his name?
Yeah, Marcus Freeman. I keep getting him and the Penn State guy. Yeah, James Franklin. Yeah.
But Freeman, man, it's like, look, dude. Ever since he took over Notre Dame, man, let me tell you, sharpest dressed coach in all of college football. Yeah, like he has the haircut. I mean, everything is just like, he look pristine. But I ain't gonna help him against Texas. Not Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is gonna win. I'm going to go 24-17. Texas A&M.
All right. And so this is a rematch. These 2 teams met in College Station. I think it was the first game of the season last year. Notre Dame actually came down and won that one 23-13 before losing to Northern Illinois famously. And so now, of course, Notre Dame, they did recover. They won the rest of their games, and they got to the national championship game before losing to Ohio State. I think this will be close. This game will be in South Bend. I think A&M's offense is a little bit better than it was last year. At this time, especially with the quarterback, I think it's Marcel Reed. He's a good dual threat guy, and so if he is able to get outside the pocket, then he can make some things happen. Notre Dame, I guess that there is one thing about Marcus Freeman. He is good about those game plans, and it's gonna take discipline to beat that team now. Of course, that wasn't the same when Brian Kelly was coaching them, but with Marcus Freeman, they are more detail oriented. Not the I's, cross the T's here. I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I do think A&M returns the favor in finding a way to win this game. You had 24-17. What's your score for that? It might be lower than that.
Yeah, dude, you go too low, and then it's like,
yeah,
the boys are able to score.
Yeah,
you know.
So, you know what? No, I'm gonna pick Notre Dame here. God, someone's gonna be far behind. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Notre Dame here, and because with them being in South Bend, I don't know if A&M has enough defense. I think their defense might be a little bit weaker too. I think they can score, but their defense isn't as good as it has been in recent years. I'm gonna go Notre Dame. We're gonna say some crazy score. I think it was like 26-23 is when I'm going with that one. Yeah, 26-23. Get Notre Dame pulling that out, but someone's gonna have a tough time coming back if these games go around.
Either that or we split them down the middle.
All right, yeah, exactly.
You end up 3-3, and I end up 3-3.
Yeah,
but that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna be 6-0, and you're gonna be 0-6.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, you probably agree with me for one or two games.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to Florida and LSU. Now, Florida, as we mentioned, they are down, or they lost to South Florida, and now they get to go to Baton Rouge to play the Tigers. The LSU had the game, they won in Clemson, but they didn't look the best against Louisiana Tech in winning that game. They won, they did what they had to do, but they didn't look the best in that game. So here we are, these two teams meeting again. Every year they play. Florida got them when they came down to Gainesville last year. I think LSU returns the favor with this one, though. Even though LSU didn't look that great against Louisiana Tech, Florida right now is really undisciplined. Yeah, I mean, they commit a lot of penalties. Against South Florida, they committed 11 or 12 penalties. Mm-hmm. And if they go in there playing like that in Baton Rouge, then the game could get away from them. But because they are comparable in talent, I mean, Florida always has talent, of course. We know what type of talent LSU normally brings to the table. It's a matter of, can Brian Kelly keep his head and stop yelling at everybody? I think he will not yell at everybody as much. And I think that will help him pull out the game.
That'll help.
24-17 is where I'm going with this one. I think LSU will pull this one out, and I think it's the home field advantage that will bail them out.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. Home field advantage. If this was being played in Florida, man, I might go with the Gators. But then again, like you said, man, it's hard to pick a team that had 11 penalties in the entire game, and I think 7 of them came in the first half. Or 7 of them came in the second half. One of the two. Very undisciplined on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. They look very what's the word I'm looking for? They don't look very well on even special teams. Now, I would say that evens up with Brian Kelly being LSU's head coach. But yeah, I'm gonna go LSU only because of home field advantage, and I'm gonna go. What'd you say?
24-17.
24-17. I'm gonna go. See this one. See, this game is always one of them weird scores.
And it's always tight between these two teams.
Yeah, it's always tight and it's always weird. Who scores weird? No, I'm gonna go 25-23.
25. That is very weird.
This game is always weird, man. Sometimes they score 25 points. One year it was 26-19.
And Aaron, then he had a couple of comments. So first he said they should have a rivalry called the Wild Florida Man. That was when we were talking about the South Florida Miami game. And then he says Brian Kelly is as fake Southern as Raising Cane's attempt at chicken fingers. Get your soggy ass chicken out of here. Raisin. So Raising Cane's.
Dude, if it's chicken, you're all about it. I don't want to hear it.
That is true. You too. And so then Raising Cane's. You right there with.
Dude, that's like one of those TikToks. My best friend's a black guy.
Yeah.
And I know he loves chicken. He's always late to the show.
Raising Cane's it's good. Like it's one of those. If you get hungry enough and you can't make it to Chick-fil-A or another ones, the Raising Cane's is a good alternative.
I mean, dude, I think Raising Cane's is like it's like Papa John's to me.
That's bad though. You do not like Papa John's.
No. That's like the bottom of the barrel.
And by the way, we are not getting paid at all for mentioning these people. And so,
well, look, Raising Cane's would probably pay us to keep it out of our mouth. Dollar signs, just saying. Get me the right dollar signs, and we'll stop paying.
Patrick,
Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. Give me them.
Patrick, so your last game.
Yeah, Charles, why do you have to ruin it?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. We have show left. We can't continue to talk about chicken the whole show.
Well, my third game is. Here we go. To me, this is kind of more one of those games of the week kind of thing. Too bad. I think it's being played at 11 o'clock. So,
2:30 for y'all. 3:30 for us.
Okay. So I'm going to go with my third game being Tennessee, Georgia. I will say this. First two games, Tennessee has looked solid, dude. They have looked really good, offensively and defensively. I bet Nico was wishing he would have just took his $2 million and shut up, huh?
Oh, it does not look good in UCLA for him.
No, not even close. Oh. I think week one, he was like 1-1 with a touchdown and an interception, and the next week he was like fumbled and yeah.
Well, Utah beat the mess out of UCLA in that first week.
Yeah, I wonder. I bet everybody's going. Yeah, $4 million. Yeah, we made the right choice.
Yeah,
Nico. But I mean, other than that, like we're not even talking about UCLA. Tennessee's looked solid offensively, defensively. They get really good field position, and I mean, get it. I get it. We're playing cupcakes. This is cupcake weeks, but they look pretty solid. A lot better than we have in our two opening weeks, which was Marshall and Austin Peay, and only put 28 on Austin Peay. I mean, we couldn't even score on the first half. 1 foot line. Throwing the ball. Got all of those running backs throwing the ball. With that being said,
bubble screens.
Oh yeah, bubble screens, wide receiver screens, and I don't know what the hell else we're doing. Bobo, stupid OC, I can't stand him. Either way the case may be, I am a dog fan through and through, and I am going to pick my Georgia Bulldogs. I'm hoping that they're just not showing anything. They're like, oh yeah, typical Georgia. Let's do 3 bubble screens. We're 3 and out 6 times in a row. We're just not opening up the playbook. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. But I'm gonna go Georgia. I think Georgia can win this, even going into Knoxville. We have a really good offense. We do really have a good offense. We do have a good defense. We take care of the ball, and Gunner is. I mean, to me, I think Gunner is a step up from Carson Beck. So I'm gonna go Georgia, and normally these games are a little high scoring, but I really don't know if it's going to be that high scoring of a game this week. So I'm going to go Georgia. I'm going to go Georgia 30-23.
30-23. This is crazy. Because I had a similar score. That's why I'm saying it's crazy. I was gonna say 31-24 for Georgia. I think because Georgia will control the line of scrimmage. If this is the time to get back to big boy ball,
This is what you do.
So yes, Aaron says Patrick is an Arizona Cardinals fan who sat through the Kingsbury era. He said Kings Bay, but he meant Kingsbury area with bubble screens. I know you're saying yes. Cliff Kingsbury ran a lot of bubble screens with Arizona.
Now look, I'm not opposed to the bubble screen. That's the one thing is like I'm not opposed of it. We ran that play last week 14 times. 14 times. 6 of them were for a loss. Now, this is where I start getting frustrated with it because, like before we came on air, the one thing I tell everybody about Zachariah Branch, I'm glad we got him, but I really hate the fact that we got him. And the reason why I hate the fact that we got him is because somebody like him can do a bubble screen or a wide receiver screen and bail Bobo out for his stupidity that he keeps doing. We did it with Ladd McConkey, man, and it was like bubble screen after bubble screen after bubble screen, but because this kid could run, he just kept running it, and it was like, oh, it's being successful. Oh, it's being successful. When it's really not. It's getting blown up in the backfield, and it's getting blown up constantly. But because Zachariah Branch can run, and because Ladd McConkey could run, they bail him out so many times, and it's a false sense of success on an offense that really can't produce on a bubble screen. We should be running the ball. Now, I don't mind a bubble screen if it's a check down. Look, if I'm going to my number one receiver, I'll go to my number two receiver, and I got a bubble, or I got my running back coming out of the backfield, and I got somebody bubbled out here to the left and my back coming out of the right. I don't have a problem with a check down. I don't mind that part of it, but that's the only thing we do. Bubble screen, check down. Bubble screen, check down. And I'm like, we haven't took a shot downfield all year. And when we do take a shot at downfield, I'm like, why would you throw that ball there? You know what I mean? I'm like, you got a dude way over here that is wide open, 20 yards down the field right here, but you're going to throw it to this guy over here who has 4 people on him, including a lineman who happened to be down there blocking? What? And Bobo's like,
well,
we won. I'm like, you suck, dude.
Well, hopefully he doesn't hopefully he brings the number of bubble screens down to 7 instead of 14. And they run the football a little bit more, which I think they will do. I think Georgia will get behind that big physical offensive line, run the football. Tennessee's offense, as usual with Josh Heupel there, we know they can score in a hurry. They got a lot of big play potential. So,
and yes, Aaron, I did know he called him now.
Yeah, Ladarius McCoy. And so we got Georgia winning this game, and then I guess the last one. So look, there's a couple of SEC ones that I was looking at: Arkansas against Ole Miss, Vandy against South Carolina. But I'm gonna go here, Patrick. How about Colorado and Houston? We're gonna bring your pick to win the Big 12 because we were all both just kind of just throwing stuff out there. But Colorado's playing Houston, and I think this game is on Friday night, as a matter of fact. So Colorado, we know what they're rolling in there with. They're trying to have success, replace what Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter had done. They got beat in week 1 by Georgia Tech. Houston looking like they might be coming together a little bit. And man,
sooner than we thought.
Yeah, and man, I think I have Houston winning this. Yes, I think I'm gonna go with Houston. The game is in Houston. I think that crowd's gonna be hyped in H Town, and I think they will pull this game out here. I'm going Houston. I think this will be kind of high scoring, actually. So I think it'll be something like 38-34.
Colorado scored like that?
Maybe not. But Houston's defense might not be the best either. So I think they might be able to put and Patrick, it's Big 12 football, man. Everybody can score.
Everybody can. Yeah, that's true.
So I got Houston pulling this out 38-34, and they will be partying a little bit down in H-Town after this game is over on Friday night.
We're sending Deion Sanders or prime time to 1 and 2?
Yeah, we 1 and 2, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go Houston. Look, man, if Houston's pulling together this fast, I watched a little bit of the game last week, and to me, they look pretty solid. I'm gonna go Houston. I honestly don't think that. I don't think it's gonna be like. I don't think it's gonna be 30. I don't think both teams will be in the 30s. I'm gonna go Houston. I'm gonna go Houston 31. I'm gonna go Houston 31-17. I think Houston
2 touchdowns, huh?
I think Houston takes care of business. I still think that offense,
2 tutties, as they call it.
I don't think that Colorado team is able to throw up points like that, even with bad defenses, dude. I don't think they can.
Well, all right. Well, there we go. So to do a rundown of the game. So first one was Clemson and Georgia Tech. You have Georgia Tech. I have Clemson. The second game was South Florida, Miami. You got South Florida going on the Army choice like you do.
Yeah.
I have Miami. And then it was A&M and Notre Dame. You got A&M. I have Notre Dame. And then we agree on the last 3. So Florida, LSU, we both got LSU winning. We both got Georgia beating Tennessee, and we both got Houston beating Colorado. So we'll see how these games break out, and then we'll break out the graphic to help everyone else keep track of the picks as we go through the year, going all the way up to the college football playoff national championship game. And also the different stipulation on this: if Penn State wins the national championship, Patrick just wins automatically. So
yeah.
Remember,
I do want to give a bonus game, and this is not. We're not going to pick.
That'll be quick.
Yeah, it'll be quick. I just want to watch this game because this is going to be a really good game. It's the Minnesota-California game. Watch that game. I think that one's going to be good.
Kansas State and Arizona, I think, can be interesting too. There's some other interesting ones out there. Maybe Wisconsin, Alabama could be interesting. I don't know. But yeah, I think this will be a fun week. Well, they all are, but I think this will be a pretty fun week.
And that App State Southern Miss, that's probably going to be a pretty good game too. Anyway, just a couple of games, bonus games for y'all to watch, just in case y'all want to watch some good football.
All right, man. Let's get into some of this NFL action. What caught your eye from the first week?
Oh, dude. Baker Mayfield is pretty freaking good, isn't he?
He has resurrected his career. It didn't look good for a little bit, but he has found a home in Tampa Bay, and he is balling.
Yeah, that was a good game. Life of a kicker in Atlanta, man, for real. But
before we go on, so Aaron said, did we see that FCS team lose to a D3 school over the weekend? I did not. That one I did not see, Aaron. The Battle of the Banjos. Stop it, Aaron. App State and Southern Miss. Stop it.
What? Battle of the Banjos with the Jugs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Baker Mayfield, yes, he's balling, and if he's playing like that, like we talked about last week, Tampa Bay is a threat, sure.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is a threat, and look, it's week 1. Both of those teams look really good. That's just life of a kicker, man. Life of a kicker for both of those teams, and I mean, dude, bring Rodrigo to Atlanta. Let him start kicking there. Get Koo out of there. Koo's done. He needs to go. Shout out to the Chargers for taking care of the Chiefs. Chiefs didn't really look that good, but it seems that Patrick Mahomes has become very human in these last couple of years. You know what I mean? Maybe that's age. Maybe that's I don't. Maybe it's a lack of talent that's around him. I don't know. But I think with Travis Swift, mind on other things, I think he might have to leave Kansas City. Just saying. Who else? There was a couple of games.
That dude signed. He's got like a lifetime contract.
Yeah, I know, but nowhere, dude. Hey, surprise, surprise! Cowboys lost.
They actually did not look bad. I will give them.
They actually look pretty good, especially playing against the Eagles. I mean, obviously they're going to play very well in their division, but they did look pretty good.
I'll give them that. They were competitive for sure.
Shout out to your 49ers for handling business too.
Yeah, able to get that win in Seattle. Yes.
Yeah, big win in Seattle. And
Aaron says it is scrub ass. His words, not ours. Scrub ass wide receivers in KC. Kansas City has not been the same in the wide receiver crew since since Tyreek Hill was traded to the Dolphins. Yeah, Rashid.
To be honest with you, Tyreek Hill hasn't been the same since he got to the Dolphins either. So
that you talk about Miami. Yeah. We're heading for
that score they had.
33-8. Yeah, the Colts put it on.
The Colts blew them out. They scored 8 points in the fourth. That's right. Probably like trash minutes. They played a 4th string team.
That game was 30-0 at one point. I mean, the Colts were putting it on. I said, that'd be like a house of cards in Miami, man. That's about to be an implosion.
Yeah. And then how about the Bills making that 22 20-point comeback or whatever it was?
So, dude, they were down. So the Bills against the Ravens, they were down 40-25 with less than 4 minutes to go.
Yeah,
and were able to pull that game out. If you're Baltimore, look, like you said, Patrick, week 1, so no championships are won after week 1. That is about as deflating of a loss you can take in week 1, though. That is a bad loss for Baltimore. And if it does come down to one of those situations where they need a win to get home field advantage, that game right there, yeah.
Well, to me, Buffalo just made that as a statement saying the AFC is coming through Buffalo. That's what I kind of felt like that win was. They're letting everybody in NFL know, if you're coming through the AFC, you are going to be coming through Buffalo to get there.
Let's see something. So Aaron says, Colts. And my man Moses back in. So he was asking about that Sunday night football game. They're calling it the best of all time. I wouldn't go that far. It's up there. I mean, I guess if you're talking about the Sunday night football games that have been called, I guess during the regular season, I can see where that would be the case. I mean, I think, I guess just going back, there might not be many games that compared to what we saw. And I guess it depends on the situation where it occurred as well. Maybe if there were some games, like if this happened in December, like November or December, where we're getting closer to the end of the season, and this was a game that was needed. And all the games are important. I'm not trying to say none of the games are important, but like this game is, hey, we're first. Like we're first place, Baltimore second, or vice versa. And then this game happened like that, then I think that would bring that up. But
Yeah.
Moses says, yeah, I agree with you. He said he thought it was off. He thought it was awesome, but best of all time. No, I thought that was a stretch. And yeah, I would agree that.
I would agree with that too. I mean, it's hard to say that this is the best of all time when it's week 1.
Yeah.
Let's get to week like 12. 13.
Yeah.
If we get to week 12 or 13 and that happened, dude, like I'm like, woo-hoo-hoo, what a game. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still like, what a game, but I'm like, week 1, what a game.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Week 2, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, let's get into the next week. But week 13, week 14, that happened. That would be hard to say that is not the best. You know what I mean? It's let the games mean a little more. I'm not saying that, me and Charles is in agreement. We're not saying that this game is not important. This was actually a really important game for these two teams, because this is what both of these teams are trying to say is like, hey, it's either coming through Baltimore or it's coming through Buffalo, one of the two. And Buffalo made a huge statement saying, hey, it's going to come through Buffalo. I'm not saying it's not important, but man, week 13, let that be like a tie. Let that be like 10 and 2. Both teams 10 and 2 going into week 13, and they gotta have that. Then I would agree. Week 1, that's a stretch. Week 13, totally agree.
And the Monday night game, Minnesota and Chicago. Minnesota came from behind there to win 27-24. They were down 17-6. JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, dude, they threw 21 points in the fourth, bro.
Yeah, he didn't look good at all in those first 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, something. Yeah,
dude. I was like, I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, man, it's kind of like you. Like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I can read defenses like that. I'm not a quarterback. I mean, if I played anywhere, I'd be a wide receiver. But I'm not reading. I am not reading defenses the way a quarterback would read. Let me tell you, man, JJ did not look like he was able to understand a defense one in those first 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, fourth quarter rolls around and he's like picking it apart. I mean, I was like, where the hell did that come from? All of a sudden, you know how to play football?
A couple more games before we look forward to week 2. Gotta give the Packers credit. They look pretty impressive against the Lions. And Aaron comments, go ahead and bring them. Aaron Rodgers did look pretty decent against the Jets. So the missed field goal that Bears in the Bears game, that kind of messed them up too.
Life of a kicker, man. That's what me and Charles say. Life of a kicker.
Life of a kicker.
You're either getting all the booty or you're getting none of the booty. One of the two. There is no gray area and there is no trickle down banging in that one. You either get it all or you get none.
And so, Aaron Rodgers, he looked good for the Steelers. That was actually a good game. Justin Fields looked good for the Jets too. So,
well, he's got an offensive coordinator that can teach him how to freaking play the game.
He's on a team that's like, okay, we can build around this dude, and he can still use these different abilities as well. So that also helps. Yeah. Well, we get right into it, Patrick. Thursday night, you have Washington at Green Bay. So that is to begin the week in week 2. You got Denver and Indianapolis could actually be a pretty good game on Sunday. Mm-hmm. You also have there it is. Here it goes. Steelers country. Let's weld our bark into our backside. See that's why I said let's go ahead. We'll save that game for last.
Yeah.
um, there's some interesting ones here. I mean, the Seahawks and Steelers could be interesting. In Pittsburgh, the Broncos and Colts we picked out, the Eagles and Chiefs. That's the main Sunday afternoon game, the 4:25 Eastern one. The Falcons and Vikings can be good as well. Battle at the quarterbacks there with JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix. I like to call him Penix. And then the Bills and Jets could be interesting as well. And the Jags and Bengals, I think, can be a sneaky good game too. So
I was actually going to say the Jags and Bengals. I think that's going to be. I think it's going to be very sneaky good.
Yeah, because I think the Jags are coming, man. I do, and I know we talked about that when we were going through the NFL preview. The Jags have a team where it looked like they can get together. Now I know we still set the
It's got a mesh.
win.
It's got a mesh, man, and it's got to do a lot better than it did in Week 1. But
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that the Jags, once that team meshes, I'd agree, man. They're on their way.
Aaron is right. The last Bengals matchup with the Jags was the Urban Meyer cheating incident. Yeah, he rolling up into Columbus with his letter jacket.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you when that first happened? You walk in the bar. If you're Urban Meyer, you walk in the bar and you tell everybody, "I'm going to need you to put your phones in that basket. I'm about to get freaky in here." That's it. I don't need no recordings. I'm in my hometown, baby. Come on. Don't rat me out.
Oh gosh, man! I remember that. That was a Thursday night game in Cincinnati, and then all of a sudden, this comes out. Like, dude, that's what you're doing. The other players are flying home to Jacksonville, and you're like, nah. I gotta relive my days.
He's like, "No, y'all go home. I'm right behind you." Well, how are you gonna be right behind? I got a personal jet. Go do you. Go do me. I'm at home, baby. I'm at home.
Oh boy. Yeah, but fast forward to this weekend coming up. Because we could spend, that's a whole nother show that we could spend on that incident. But
Yeah.
yeah, that Jags Bengals game I think could be sneaky good too. So this is a really good schedule of just interesting matchups.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned it, but I'm gonna put an emphasis on it one more time. Eagles and Chiefs.
Yeah. Yes, the Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl matchup or Super Bowl rematch. And man, does Kansas City fall to 0-2? Let's see.
Hey, look. Downfall bringing Taylor Swift into your organization.
So
I mean, look, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Taylor Swift, but I'm just saying.
So before we hop on out here, I wanted to spend a little bit of time, a few more minutes here, Patrick, talking about standards for quarterbacks. This is particularly true in the NFL, what I'm about to say here. So now we have 32 teams in the league. Out of those 32 teams, what, Patrick, maybe 4 or 5 elite ones that we could qualify as elite? Like, I think most people,
I mean, I wouldn't go elite. I mean, I would probably say you got 1 or 2 that maybe tier 1. And then you got, I mean, as far as elite, I mean, like there's only one way to really establish an elite team in the NFL is let them three-peat. Give me a three-peat. Philly, give me a three-peat. You're an elite team.
So with the quarterbacks, because yes, football is the ultimate team sport, and I know that gets forgotten a lot for whatever reason. The football, like none of the stuff, even these quarterbacks, they're not doing anything without the protection from the offensive line. But as society will tell you, I guess, the quarterback that's the standard. That is the position. That is what everybody is building everything around. And so with these 32 teams in the NFL, you have quarterbacks that are like in a separate tier. So you can go Patrick Mahomes, you can go Josh Allen, you can go Lamar Jackson, you can go Joe Burrow. And then after that, and I say those four because that's normally the four names people will throw around if we're talking about elite quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have guys who have been good. Jalen Hurts, of course, won a Super Bowl with the Eagles last year. Matthew Stafford won one with the Rams. And he was by the way, he was very good in Detroit, by the way. It was just a shame that Detroit was bad for all those years. But
but Detroit's got to spend money,
Yeah, that too.
You can't get a quarterback and a wide receiver and then no offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. And so Jared Goff, he's been good, playing well with Detroit. And there's other ones that have been good. We'll see what Jaden Daniels is able to continue to ascend to. You had CJ Stroud, where everybody was ready to put him in an elite category, and then he regressed for his sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And so my point is, there's only so many quote unquote elite quarterbacks in the league. With as much talk that is centered around these guys, the quarterback play overall ain't that great. And so with that, I say this: the standards that people put on these quarterbacks, if you're asking me, they've changed a little bit. And here's where they've changed. If you can get yourself a good quarterback and you can build the team around them, you get you the offensive line, get you a defensive line, then you build from the inside out. Get your linebackers, get your DBs on the defensive end, then you get your receivers and running backs and tight ends on the offensive end. What you need your quarterback to do at that point is not necessarily be an elite guy. If you get an elite guy, that's a bonus. But what you need from that quarterback is pretty much what J.J. McCarthy did last night for the Vikings. You weren't playing well. Defense was able to keep you in it. And then when it was time for you to make some plays, you go and you make them. Now, again, like if you have someone like Josh Allen who can put on the Superman cape, bonus, but
he's not there. You don't have any other quarterback like him. He is the only quarterback that is willing to lower his shoulder. Dude, it looks awkward for him to slide.
Yeah, he's not really.
He's a very awkward person. He's like tries to shimmy himself into a slide, which is ugly. I mean, he's going to hurt himself before he helps anything. So just lower your shoulder and hit.
And so you just need those dudes to do that. Like when Matthew Stafford, so when the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, remember they were down, or not last year, a few years ago. But remember they were down 20-16. But he had the ball in his hands to last couple of minutes, make the throws, get your team in the end zone. You just need your quarterback to have elite moments. Not necessarily be elite as a quarterback, but when it's time,
have the elite moment. But here's the key. Here's the key, the kicker to all of that. You have to be very Tom Brady-esque. And what I mean by that is one of the things that me and Charles always talked about with Tom Brady is there's one thing that he always done, and he always done it well. Take care of the ball. Take care of the ball, and then get your elite moments when you have them. 2-3 minutes left in your 2 minute drill. Yeah. Be elite there. Take care of the ball. Be elite with your 2-minute drill, and maybe make a big play 1 1/4. I mean, take a shot downfield, big play, boom. Take care of the ball. Have your elite moment with your 2-minute drill. I mean, I agree with you. It's hard to be. Honestly, it wouldn't be that hard to be a standout quarterback in a era of quarterbacks that cannot stand out, because there's none that really can do that. Josh Allen has his standout because he lowers his shoulder and he hits. Lamar Jackson has his standout because he can extend plays like nobody in the NFL. I don't care who everybody. Murray can do that too. Not like Jackson.
Not like Lamar. No.
Not like Jackson can. Penix drives me nuts because he'll sit and take hits all game long. He'll try to deliver that ball from the pocket. He ain't running. He's right there. He needs to learn to get the ball out faster. He can't sit in that pocket for 3-4 seconds expecting not to get hit eventually. You know what I mean? And when he does have his chance to run, he needs to take his abilities and do that. But no, he sits in that pocket for 4 or 5 seconds, waiting for that play to open up. And sometimes it's not gonna open up. He has to do something different to extend that play. But we're running into a lot of that, where quarterbacks just don't know what their situation is, and they got to learn that. I mean, obviously this is his second start in the NFL, so I mean he's got a lot to learn. JJ's got a lot to learn, and all these rookie quarterbacks that everybody's playing. But you got to have that standout moment that stands you out amongst the rest, and nobody really has it in this era of football.
Yeah. And it helps. I mean, it helps if you do have a good play caller there. I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes has been awesome in his career, of course. But having Andy Reid there definitely helps. And
taking pay cuts, that helps because he's able to put lines around him. He's able to get wide receivers that can play. He's not out here asking for $140 million a year. He's taking his 65 and he's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing when we talk about Tom Brady, and if these quarterbacks want to be like Tom Brady, then you have to be willing to do Tom Brady things. Mm-hmm. And what Tom Brady did on top of taking care of the ball is, like you said, he took less money so the team around him can be built. Patrick Mahomes has done a good job. We know when he signed that contract, it was ridiculous sounding, a 10-year, $500 million deal, but at least 3 times he has restructured his deals so the Chiefs can go and get some.
Take less. I mean, I think this dude is making I think he started out 4 years ago trying to make $50 million a year, and now he's down to 38.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to think that he's taking less money, but he's not in it for the money. He's in it for the legacy. And that means a lot more to people in a different way. I mean, Tom Brady, he went out and bought UGG, which also padded his pockets as well. Ugly ass boots. But
TB12.
But he took less money that built his legacy. He let Uggs build his fortune, and he let football build his legacy. And I can respect that. And that's what Patrick Mahomes is doing. It was what Matt Ryan was trying to do in Atlanta. It's what Andrew Luck was trying to do in Indianapolis. It's just at a certain point, you got to know when to hang up the cleats, and they did.
Well, Patrick, man, it's time to wrap it up, man. Before we go, though, what's coming up for Pro Epic?
Well, my kid is on the mend, so we will be trying to shoot. We're going to get a whole season in of him and Preston doing a him versus his friend challenge. So we got a lot of water balloons for that challenge. After that, be looking out for season 1 to be dropped. The whole season of Father Son being dropped on YouTube. I'm going to try to drop it out tomorrow, but it might be Thursday. Depends on how much editing I can get tomorrow before I can get that out. Don't know what we're going to do for season 3 yet, but I do know in October we are shooting for Parents versus Kids kickball when it's cooler. I don't have so much sweat dripping down my back.
And for both of sports, we'll be talking about mostly football, but of course there's some other things coming up. The baseball playoffs will be starting next month, so look out for that preview show in a few weeks. Shorties. I will have another shorty coming on back.
I need to get on that.
Yes, you do, but I wasn't going to say anything. But
get on that.
And so the shorties will be coming back, and then look out for those Royal Brewers. I got you, Eric. Yeah. And so and then these other shows, these bonus shows. Maybe they'll come on a Thursday and Friday. We'll try to see if we do that every other week. Patrick and I will talk about that to see how our schedules match. And so we'll be looking for those different shows as well. Some of these will be interviews. Some of these will be just different topics, because for Tuesday nights for the fall, it'll probably be, he said, ooh. And so it'll probably be football heavy, but look out for those other shows that stem from that. So with that, that will conclude this edition of the Bofa Sports webcast. And that is what we are breathing on for this evening. Y'all make sure y'all visit the Bofa Sports YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the Bofa Sports Facebook page. Aaron, Moses, thanks for tuning in and bringing y'all comments. We appreciate it. And for everybody else who tuned in, we appreciate y'all watching and viewing it. And everybody enjoy the games. We will talk to y'all next week. Y'all take care.
Go Dogs.